Bro, hold on. Smokey, let me say this.
Yeah.
Trash talkers. If y'all have ever seen somebody out in public with the prints with the butt cheeks out, please let us know in the comment section. We need to know.
I don't know. I feel like back in those days, you might have gotten visited by a cop for walking down the street.
Hey, blast off, I can talk my ass off. Hey, Smokey, what you seen, and I'll tell you what I saw. Hollywood, what you think, and I'll tell you what I thought. And we can talk about it all when we here on Trash Talk. Hey.
What's going on, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Trash Talkers Podcast.
Yes, we made it.
We made it, Smoke Dog.
Yeah, we did.
What you got going on in life right now, brother?
Not a lot of anything. Just living, man. Living. What are you doing?
Living your best life, huh?
Yeah, that old saying.
Dude, I'm ready to go on vacation.
Yeah?
I'm just ready to take a break, man. I just need to clear my mind and just do nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes your brain gets full. It's like a sponge. You got to wring it out a little bit.
Yes.
Just start over.
I had mentioned that to somebody that I know. Let me ask you a question. Is it hard for you to sometimes to just not do anything?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like those days where, inclement weather or something like that, and I have to sit at the house all day. Like halfway through the day, I'm like, I gotta go somewhere. Like that's tough, man, because when you're used to being on the road constantly at all times, it's hard to sit in your house for a day.
Yeah. I don't know, man. For some reason with me, when I know I have a day where everything's done, I swear I could just stay on the couch for 3 days.
Yeah. See, that's what I always tell myself. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do absolutely nothing. Then halfway through the day, I'm like, I got to do something.
I mean, I'll binge watch TV shows or I'll watch the fights, but I'm literally on couch just going from this. I'll sit on this side, then this hand gets numb. Then I go on this side until this hand gets numb. Then I just keep alternating. Next thing I know is 2 days have passed. And I'm like,
I wish I could do that. I start hearing my grandma's voice in my head. Why are you just wasting the day? Get out and do something.
Man, that's one thing about me, man. I love to sleep in because I'm so used to waking up early and go. Mm-hmm. So when I get the chance to sleep in, I'm like, okay, cool.
Do it.
I know you. I've said this story many of times, but when me and Smokey went to go see Tool, I think we stayed out. How late do you think we stayed out that night?
Like 1 or 2.
1 or 2. I've had some drinks in me. I'm out there listening to Tool, jamming. I'm like, all right, bro, let's hit let's hit back the hotel. Yeah. I'm over there. I just happened to roll over. I look at my phone. It's like 4:20. Smokey's out there. Who's that peeking in my window? Like, go to bed, bro.
It was more like 5.
Okay, maybe 5.
But yeah, I got a coffee.
He had his coffee and everything.
Oh, they fighting out there.
I looked at him. I just rolled over. I'm like, man, I'm going back to sleep, bro. And I think you actually drove back, and then I slept the majority of the way there. Yeah, but no.
I don't sleep well.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody out there, who's working. Get it done, man. That's part. What's the American saying? You work, you pay taxes, and then you pass. Yes, 100%. If you guys are new here, we always read the top 3 comments from the previous podcast. Smokey, do you remember the last podcast topic?
What was it? Dang, I'm blanking on it right now.
Songs that you should not
Songs you should never listen to.
Yes.
In the arms of
the angel. Yeah, so we read the top 3 comments from the previous podcast on every podcast. So today, the number 3 most liked comment from that podcast comes from Marcus Edwards. Marcus Edwards says, my mother passed in 2023. Rest in peace. She loved all kinds of music, but she absolutely loved Elvis. Not long before she passed, I ordered an Elvis record. It's his live performance at the International Hotel in Las Vegas on August 26, 1969. I don't love Elvis as much as she does, but definitely respect his work. I was so excited and couldn't wait for her to come over and we could just sit and listen to it. Unfortunately, she passed before we got the opportunity to do so. Damn, sorry, Marcus. I don't know that I will ever be able to listen to that record. I haven't successfully listened to any Elvis tracks since her passing without breaking down. now.
Yep.
Damn.
When those emotions are tied to it, man, that definitely makes it tough.
Yeah, that, and I think Marcus might be piggybacking off the comment that I said, where it's hard for me to listen to Simple Man because I immediately think of my mom and just starts crying, man. The number 2 most liked comment from that podcast is actually a tie. We've got a tie here. Aaron Smuck and Sterling. Aaron Smuck's podcast. Aaron Smuck's comment says, "Great episode, guys. I love when it goes off the rails into 20 different topics. This was a fun one."
Yeah.
Sterling, who was tied for number 2, says, "I'm at 27 minutes and 46 seconds. I always watch to the very end."
Oh, we appreciate that.
Shout out to you, Sterling and Aaron Smuck. And the number 1 most liked comment comes from FM Chef Lucas. Shout out to you, my friend. FM Chef Lucas says, "The song I can't listen to is Amazing Grace. When my father passed away, I was driving home from the hospital and flipped through the channels and it came on.
Oh, wow.
I bawled my eyes out.
I bet.
It hits me hard every time. I feel you, Lucas.
Oh, yeah.
I feel you, brother.
Man, in one of those tough situations like that, and a gospel song comes on, like, it's going to tear you apart.
Yeah. Man, and not only that, but that's one of those, if I'm not mistaken, Amazing Grace was like an old...
Oh, yeah, that's really
slave,
old. Yeah.
Rich,
yeah, I don't know the origins of it, but I know it goes back way before any of our times.
Yeah, way before that, man.
Mm-hmm.
But today's topic, Smokey.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one here.
Yes, it is. Because being in the hip-hop world, we see a lot of fashion changes. And it seems to happen very quick these days, right? Because a certain rapper will be wearing, like, those red boots that people wore for, like, 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, that'll catch on because of the hot name at the time. Just happened to be wearing it, and people are like, oh, all on it. And then it's gone out the window. But in the rock world, it doesn't seem like anything took hold as much as grunge.
Exactly. And specifically, it's the grunge aesthetic. You know, the grunge aesthetic and their impact on music and fashion. And first of all, I just want to throw this out there. If any hip-hop fans, if you know what tees, bows, and rees are, just leave it down in the comment section. 10 extra points if you know what tees, bows, and rees are.
Soldier rees.
Yes, 100%. That's hip-hop. But no, grunge, dude, if I'm really being honest, I think grunge might have played more on the fashion side of things than any other genre other than hip-hop.
Yeah.
And maybe disco.
Oh, disco, yeah. Well, how often in disco were they wearing those things in the street? That's what you got to ask.
Well, not only that, and it was also a short. It was a short period of time.
Yeah,
it was
technically grunge was too.
Was it though? Like to me, every teenage kid I see out now looks like they could be in a grunge.
Now it's like a throwback, and people still do it. Yeah, that is true.
That's the thing, though, for grunge to do that back in the day, and for it to make a research. How many people you seen wearing 7X t-shirts now?
No, it doesn't happen.
But you see people wearing
still
flannels.
See the grunge aesthetic. Yeah,
Just
that's
saying.
true. That's true. Yeah, as short as grunge was on top of the music industry, as short a period of time as it was, the fashion stuck around.
Yes, it did.
It did. Yeah. You know, a lot of crossover though, really, because there was a lot of, like, the later era of grunge and nu metal, they were wearing the baggy clothes also. Yeah. So there was a kind of a crossover for a time period also between hip hop and the rock scenes that was happening at the time.
Yeah, I mean, and you can kind of say nu metal, kind of hip hop ish, kind of.
Yeah,
but,
true, and that's probably why, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
the track suits and things like that.
Do you mind if I say it for the 37,000th time? Can I say it again? I mean, Marilyn Manson did wear grills. just want to throw that out there. He did wear grills.
Yeah,
just want to throw that out there. But
think about what was on top of the rock industry before that. It was hair metal.
Yeah, and the very like tight stuff, like the tight.
You didn't see a lot of. I mean, not that I was old enough to really pay attention to anything like that, but
your dad. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm pretty much assuming all the videos I've seen of the early and mid '80s and whatnot. Didn't see a lot of people running down the street wearing brightly colored spandex and bandanas hanging off their knees and arms and whatever. But in grunge, you saw a lot of that on the street.
And like I said, you still see it to this day. And to go back to what Smokey was saying, with the rock where people were wearing these crazy bright colors out in the streets, we are, it's a little before our time. So any trash talkers who happen to be a little older than us, you guys educate us. Was that a thing back then?
Yeah.
Was like people walking out with, bro, hold on. Smokey, let me say this.
Yeah.
Trash talkers, if y'all have ever seen somebody out in public with the prints with the butt cheeks out, please let us know in the comment section. We need to know.
I don't know. I feel like back in those days, you might have gotten visited by a cop for walking down the street like that.
Why do I feel like it was more acceptable back then than it was now?
No, I think it'd be more acceptable now.
You think?
Yeah. Have you seen like at the festivals, like the
Well,
how the rules will vary for public indecency at a festival, which is happening on the street in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
It varies a lot from, what you like, say, if you just walk down a small town neighborhood with your butt cheeks out, the cop's going to stop you.
Hey.
You can walk fully nude down Main Street when a festival is happening. Yeah. The cops are just like, okay.
And
whatever.
you say that, and the first thing that popped in my head was, did you see Kanye West's girlfriend at the Super Bowl?
No, there you go. Yeah. It was the Grammys, wasn't it?
Was it the Grammys?
Did she dress up for the Super Bowl?
She was basically nude.
Yeah, that was the Grammys. Yeah.
Okay, she wore a completely nude outfit. You know, it's like,
I mean, there was a dress there, but it was see-through.
Yes, 100%, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not only that, dude. I've seen man, we could talk about, and I know we're trying to stick to the grunge thing here, but dude, seeing MGK. Machine Gun Kelly. Seeing him come out with that. Remember him? He had that suit with like nails hanging out.
Yeah.
Or how about the craziest one, bro. CeeLo, the Gold Man.
Oh yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, the Met Gala.
Come on, man.
Yeah. The Met Gala is something too. But Jaden Smith.
With the hat, the house.
Yeah, like those are fashions, especially the Met Gala. Those are fashions you are never going to see on the street.
You know what's crazy though? We're talking about the Jadens and we're talking about Kanye's wives and the CeeLos, but in a way, can we tie that into grunge? Because grunge was always about just be yourself.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I had watched some. Maybe it was a Nirvana documentary or something like that, and they were talking about the grunge scene, how these people would go on stage. This was right after hair metal had just happened. They're talking about these kids would go on stage in the same clothes that they just went to the grocery store in earlier that day, and that was their accepted attire for a rock genre. It was so different than almost anything that had happened before. I mean, if you go back far enough into the 50s, they would always put on suits or something. It was always dress for the job you wanted, and they wanted to dress up. That was probably the first genre that came along to say, we're just going to wear our normal clothes on stage.
And go back before that, like the 20s. Like everyone's seen those not reimagined, but like those videos where they show like
remastered
videos of like in the 20s. Every guy had a hat on with a suit and a tie.
Oh man, yeah, that reminds me. Like my grandfather was big on that because he came from a time where you did not go out in public without dressing up to some extent. Like he would put on a button-up shirt just to sit in the rocking chair and read the newspaper without going anywhere. You didn't, like nowadays you see people at the airport wearing their pajamas.
Oh, that's me. That's
you?
Me. Oh my god, dude. And when it comes
to being presentable, I guess.
No, when it comes to flying, that to me it's all about being comfortable.
I mean, these people go to court in their pajamas.
No. You need to, you need to be presentable when you have certain when it comes.
Not that I'm gonna wear a 3-piece suit or anything, but I always make sure if I'm going out in public that I'm not just wearing the same thing I rolled out of bed in.
No, 100%. Like it's different occasions. Like I was saying, like when you go to court, you don't want to have your pants sagging. You want to be presentable.
Yeah, exactly.
Presentable. Yeah. When I go to work, I want to be presentable.
You want to look like you're there to work.
If we're shooting a music video, I want to look good. If I'm going to my parents' house but if I'm waking up for a flight at 4 a.m. in the morning, and I've always done this, I'm wearing slides. I definitely got on slides. 100%, dude. I've got a neck pillow on because the first thing, and you know what's crazy? Everybody there is usually like that.
I wouldn't say everybody.
I'd say majority.
That's a newer thing. Like that just started happening.
And I wouldn't even. I'd even go on a limb and say that might even be a thing for traveling. Like I remember taking a trip to every road trip I think I've been on, like with my family. It's always been just like comfortable clothing. You know, not
comfortable clothing, not just pajamas and
a
cut off t-shirt.
No,
something.
like when I say comfortable, I mean I got on like some sweatpants, some socks, and a t-shirt. You know, comfortable.
Yeah, nobody wants to see your toenails out while they're flying.
Yeah,
man, you ever saw the clips of the like this has happened several times. People are in the airplane, you know, and they're serving food, and people over here clipping their toenails while they're flying, like right next to someone, or propping their bare feet up on the chair in front of them.
I've been on multiple flights, and that's something I haven't seen because whenever I fly, dude, I go straight to sleep.
Yeah.
And maybe this is stuff happening when
I want to see the view.
Oh no, dude. I mean, yes, I've seen it too many times. It's like, cool. It's always a kid.
Each
like
time, I'm like, wow.
And you know, dude,
The clouds are way.
I know, dude. It was fun the first 2 or 3 times, but after that, I'm like, all right. You know, and you being up high in altitude, and then the pressurized cabin, it actually makes you sleepy. A pilot actually told me that, and he was like,
I don't think I've ever slept on a flight.
Well, you want to see out the window and everything.
Exactly.
It's cool the first 3 or 4 times, but after that, like, there's a kid and he like, here, you can have it, you know.
Yeah, but plus, I don't want to be asleep around all these strangers.
With me, I just and I thought about that too, and that's what made me ask the pilot. I was like, you know, why is it that, and my mom actually brought it up. She was like, you know, I always sleep on flights. That's why you see the neck pillows. That's why you see everyone with their headphones on. But he was like, it's because you're high up in altitude, which makes you tired, and then you're in a pressurized cabin, which also makes you tired, which is why a lot of people just get on there and just,
well, I think
that's why the story.
The vibration.
And the vibration. It's a multitude of things. But you've seen the clips where a dude's stuck in the middle seat and he's got like 3 people on the
yeah.
It's something that puts you to sleep.
Yeah.
But to tie that back into the grunge situation now, is it wrong to say that it's kind of okay to, I mean, I don't care what you do, first and foremost. If you want to go out there and dress, if that's what you want to do.
I mean, it's not like the grunge artists were out there in their pajamas.
I don't know. I'm trash talkers. I'm sure there's a video of Kurt out there in his pajamas. I feel like I've seen that actually, dude.
I don't know.
I think I've seen that. Go ahead.
If it has, I haven't seen it, but
I swear I think I've seen it.
You mostly see like, you know, just worn jeans.
Yeah.
You know, probably some worn shoes. Like, they did not go to the mall to pick out their outfit to perform tonight. You know, it was just, got this stuff that I've worn several times in the closet. I'm going to put it on, and I'm going to the show.
He hops out of bed with a robe on.
That was a video shoot, wasn't it? Or a photo shoot.
I mean, he was... Oh, that wasn't it.
I mean, if anybody's going to do it, it's
gonna be Kurt.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what? You can do it. If you're Kurt Cobain, you're going to walk out there with your robe on.
See, that's what I'm talking about. The grunge changed that whole idea of dressing up to be a rock star.
At what point did it become cool to not do that anymore? Like
in the 90s.
I mean, and it, of course, the grunge situation.
It changed society in a way because the kids in the 80s, like the girls would get up like an hour before school just to get their hair done. Yeah. And in the 90s, that all changed. I mean, when we were in school, you know, there was no big hairdos. You know, it was just straight hair. You know, or if you had curly hair, but. You know, and dudes would come to school with bedhead.
Yeah, you know? now that you bring it up, for some reason I remember like in the 90s, kids like your hair being so oily. Like, did you even shower?
Oh, yeah.
Did you even shower this morning?
I think that's the thing with kids not showering a lot.
I could bring up some, but I'm not. And you...
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think that's the thing today that... I don't know. I'm not going to judge a whole generation for it, but... I think there is something going on that kids are not really into showering as often.
Okay,
as
I get the clothes.
generations of the past.
I get the clothes. I get the clothing, rolling out of bed, going to school. I get the clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I just, for the life of me, cannot get behind the hygiene.
Yeah.
If you stink,
Yeah.
that doesn't affect you. If you want to look, if you want to have holes
Yeah,
in your...
because you don't notice it. Everybody around you notices it.
I mean...
But if they're all doing it, then who knows?
Something that's always been said, and I don't know if this is just in the urban community, but they say if you can smell yourself, other people can smell yourself.
Yeah. If you notice it, then everybody notices it.
It's like, okay, yeah, I might roll out of bed, but I'm gonna brush my teeth. I'm gonna shower. I'm gonna put on deodorant. You know, I'm gonna make sure I got.
Well, who is rolling out of bed, showering, and putting their bedclothes back on? That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like that's like a. Oh, okay, I was gonna use a crazy analogy, but that's like having a pair of tennis shoes that you've had for 10 years and you got some socks and someone takes you to a tennis or a sneaker store, buys you a brand new pair of Air Force Ones, and you take those same socks and put it in that brand new.
Yeah.
Why? You just ruined the shoe. Now that stank foot is in a brand new pair of Air Force Ones.
Yeah. Especially if you ain't been in the shower.
God, man. But you had said, I know you don't want to generalize an entire new generation, but what do you think that's about?
I don't know.
I get the clothing, but why the hygiene?
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the work ethic these days, because we all know as a society in general, people don't work as hard as they used to. And that's a symptom of technology changing anyway, because you don't have to. Like, you think about the silent generation, the greatest generation, and all that. Those
Great
people
Depression.
were up at 5 a.m. and working until the sun went down. Everybody did it because they didn't have money.
And you know what? Salute to the people who are still doing that today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because there is people still working like that, and that's admirable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But continue on what you were saying.
But now, kids grow up in a, for lack of a better term, a softer society, to where you don't have to. You don't have to work like that. It's a little more abundant now than it was in those days. So, you over time you become a little lazier.
I'm about to. I need you to follow me here.
And everything's acceptable, whereas it wasn't back then. Like I told you about, my grandfather would put on a button-up shirt just to sit out on the porch or something.
Read the paper.
Yeah, and you don't have to do that now, because we can see someone at the grocery store in their pajamas, and we're like, oh, that's normal. People do it all the time.
Well, then we're accepting it as normal. If you see it long enough, it becomes normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about to go somewhere here, and I'm going to need you to follow me here for a second.
All right.
Do you remember your last name being Cowan? What does Cowan mean? Like, because usually your surname is, remember, like Shoemaker.
Oh, yeah.
Or,
I don't know. I've never really looked into that. I mean, I know there's a town called Cowan. I believe there might be one in Ireland and Scotland, if I'm not mistaken. But
so there's no like trade or anything?
Nah, not that I know of. Unless it's a farmer.
See, okay, all right. Cowan.
Yeah,
okay.
maybe
Farmer
it is.
wakes up early, has to take care of his. So your last name, it's in your blood. It's in your DNA to wake up and go to work. I looked up mine, Bynes. It's crazy, but it's actually kind of it's got to deal with slavery. Hard worker.
But that's an Irish last name.
Well, it is, but
I mean, there were Irish slaves, but
yes, and they were. But if you, I'll show you off camera. But my last name Bynes literally like transworked to hard worker, and it's like, so you take a Cowan, you take a Bynes, two hard workers. Yours dealing with cows, mine let's say fields. If you want to throw me fields, cool. But now if you take a Cowan who is just born or of this generation, and a Bynes of this generation who have those hard-working last names, but now are just a soft. Does it take away from the surname in the future? It's like you're no longer you're a soft.
Well, choices you make in your life actually
like Cowan.
kids.
Hold on, I'm sorry to interrupt. Like Cowan, yours being hard, a new one. You'd be, we wake up and raise the cows, but the new softer Cowans are like, you're slothy like a cow. You just want to sit around and eat all day. Vines, you just want to sit around and eat vines or something all day. I'm just saying, maybe the new generation, like, what if they just throw away?
Well, here's the thing: when you do something in your life, say you alter the DNA chain that you're passing on, that information is still passed to your offspring. Like so, children that are born to me still have that hardworking DNA in them,
but
it might just have to be unlocked.
What?
But once it is, it's easier for them than someone who just came from a long line of sloths.
Cowans. Damn cow-ans.
Cow and what?
All right, so let me ask you. Do you mind if I just bring your daughter up for a second? Nothing too personal, but does she have a job?
Yeah.
So is she a hard worker?
Yeah.
Your son, he's very smart. He's a Cowan. I mean,
Yeah.
So now, what about if your daughter has a child, in this new generation where everybody's just technology, does it still need to be unlocked to become like?
I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think without giving them some inspiration, I mean, there may be certain people who have a certain brain type that they just do it automatically. They're busybodies, that happens too. But for the most part, if you don't show them the hard work, they're not going to just automatically do it, in my opinion. But they grow up and they go, oh, I really want some money. And then they start working, and then you realize, like, oh, it's in their DNA that they are going to just work and work and work because I came from a long line of people who did that.
So at what point, you had mentioned AI, it being a lot easier with the internet and artificial intelligence and all these technological growths that we have of a people now. At what point does the Cowan name or the Bynes name goes from hands to, like, when is it no longer hands-on? It's like, are we still going to be hardworking when it's all digital?
Yeah, but it'll be in a different way, of course.
Well, let me ask you this then. How old's your daughter again?
20.
Who's a harder worker at 20? Were you a harder worker at 20, or was she a harder worker at 20?
That's a good question. I feel like I was at 20.
Do you think that
at 20 I'd already had several jobs?
Is that
she's still on her first job, which there's something to be said for that. If you can, at that young of an age, if you can hold a job down for years, so
shout out to my niece and nephew.
Yeah, something to be said for that. But
is
I was always like, I got this one job, but that job's better. I'm going to work my way toward that job.
Right.
And then I would hold two jobs at one time and then move on to the next one and then finally let the first one go.
So you were the harder worker at 20 then.
I feel like it, but
But is it because it was times were a little different when you were 20? Like you
yeah.
You had to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I had to, because I wasn't going to have any money.
Yeah. I mean,
but the newer generation, they have a chance to live at home longer than the generations before.
Hell, our parents was like, yo ass,
get the hell out.
At 18, you gone,
But
bro.
see, that was the thing. I was always like, I want to get out. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I can't wait to get out.
Mine is a little different. Yes, I wanted to get out. My parents were pretty lenient. It's like, sure, we can let it. Like, if I wanted to bring a girlfriend over, let us meet her parents. If that's cool, that's fine. Yeah. But at some point, it was like, when I started going down the wrong road, then it was like, all right, I want to be able to smoke in my house. I want to be able to
exactly.
And you want to get out, but it's
you
like,
want freedom, but sometimes it feels like that's not as prioritized for the newer generations.
Do you remember the day you left your folks' house? Like the day. I remember the
exact day.
I remember I can't remember the exact day, but I can remember the exact time and moment what happened. Curious if you remember yours.
Yeah, I went to go live with my buddy in his apartment that he had just got.
Tell me about that day. Did he call you and say, "Hey, bro, I got an apartment"?
Yeah, that was exactly what happened.
Damn.
Yeah, he was just like, "Hey," because he had got an apartment with his girlfriend. He was one of those guys that the girlfriends were usually 3 weeks to a 2-month ordeal. So he's like, I'm just here by myself. Why don't you come over here? And I'm like, all right. And that's how it was back in those days. It's just like on a whim, like, well, come live here. All right.
I'm on the way.
Why not? I move my little mattress and throw it on the floor.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Mine was, I came home intoxicated. And my mom was like, no, gotta go. And I literally
that's how I'd be too.
Yeah, I had nowhere to go. I
Think you're gonna be an F up and stay at my house? Like, nah. Just get the hell out
it went from bro. I will never forget it, man. I came home, and she's like, "Go, you cannot stay here anymore." I went to, and I literally had nowhere to go. I didn't have a buddy like you did, where, hey, can I come stay? So I had friends. Yeah, you can stay on my couch for 2 days. Yeah, you can stay on my couch. So I went couch surfing, couch to couch to couch. And then it got so bad to where I had no more places to go. The condition of my state was not good, and I just went back to my folks' house, and I was like, listen, I don't care if y'all need to call the cops. I don't care if y'all need to go to rehab, but I have nowhere to go. And my mom was like, that's what we were waiting on. We needed you to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Once I hit rock bottom, they was like, come on in. We got you.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, Smokey, the biggest question of this entire podcast.
How you tie that into grunge?
Bring it back to grunge.
Man, grunge, there was a lot of people of the grunge scene that hit rock bottom. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Does that tie in, though?
That's what I was about to say.
Does the aesthetics of grunge tie into the lifestyle that people were living?
Yeah, and
I think it fed into it. Like, if I won't say that grunge caused people to do certain substances or whatever, but there was certain substances that was absolutely associated with the grunge scene.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. If you had to take a guess, so give me a percentage. How many in? All right, first of all, give me that. Just take a guess. What was the year that was grunge's peak? What was the peak of grunge?
Oh, that had to be around 94, 95.
All right, so 94. Now give me a percentage of how many grunge fans at the peak of 94, 95 were using some sort of substance. Grunge fans.
God.
It seems high, right?
Yeah. 75%.
Jesus,
maybe.
that's high.
I don't know for sure. I mean, I don't want to say something absolutely wrong because I know there's going to be comments like, "I loved grunge and I never did anything in my life."
You're part of the 25% then.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now I'm where I was going to tie it in because you had mentioned substances. Is grunge kind of associated with hitting rock bottom?
Facilitating it
or hitting rock bottom? Like.
Yeah, it feels like,
I'm at the bottom.
The depression
I lost my girl.
Yeah.
I lost, you know what I mean? Like,
Why? I think it plays into it. And, if you're of a certain mind state, you're going to be attracted to like-minded things.
People, and people, places, and things.
Yeah.
Hell, look at the hippie movement.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean...
Yeah, people who wanted to push for equality and freedom of speech and things like that, they were going to be attracted to the hippie movement, right? Disenfranchised youth who are like, F the man. Like, we're going to go have our peace and love party away from this societal norm. So they're attracted to the hippie movement, and they're going to fall right in with the music that goes along with that.
What about the fans of funk? Like, what did they do?
Oh, that's party, man. That's dance, and that's just jive, bro. That's just, you got that swag about
you. Black just came all the way out of you right there. This fool said, that's jive.
That's that jive, man.
So, could you say funk fans, lifestyle, choices, people, place, and things?
Yeah, you like driving off. Yeah. Caddy.
So, the funk fans, people, places, and things, did they hang out with the disco? Because that's all about grooving, ducking. What was your term? Shucking and
disco
diving.
Disco grew out of the funk scene, man. Yeah, absolutely.
The disco fans and the funk
disco
fans.
Disco was a little more clubbish of funk, Yeah, disco came from the funk scene for sure. Yeah. I mean, funk still lasted through disco.
Were they?
But that's where it came from. It's party music, man.
Yeah, so using your words, were they shucking and driving together?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, look at those videos from the disco back in the day.
Man, they all
you see all races.
You saw an Asian dude out there,
afros everywhere, bell bottoms. They just
you see a Venezuelan dude with dreadlocks. How? How? You see an Asian dude out there with an afro, just killing it, bro, man,
absolutely.
Killing it. And listen, to the trash talkers who stuck around and hung out with us on this podcast,
we got to give them some questions though to answer in the comments.
All right, give us your first one. What you got?
What will tie all of this in?
I got a few I can throw out there. Okay, since we were talking about grunge, I asked Smokey the question. I want to ask the trash talkers the question. Give me a percentage of how many fans at the height of grunge actually use some sort of substance if they were a huge grunge fan? Just curious. And were you
And-
one? If you want to disclose that, let us know.
Yeah. And if you were huge into the hair metal scene, did you dress like the hair metal artist?
Yes.
Did you wear the spandex?
Yes.
Did you wear the neon colors and whatnot?
Also, and also going back to the podcast, Smokey bringing up the girls in the 80s using the hair.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
On an average, how many hair bottles did women go through? Or did you, as
The
a woman?
hairspray?
How many hair bottles of hairspray did you
How
go
much
through?
rave number 9 did you spend all your allowance on?
In a week? I want to know how many cans of hairsprays did you go through in a week? Answer those questions for us down in the
Aquanet.
Hey, if you black, how much Just For Me did you use? You don't remember Just For Me, do you?
Just For
Me. I like the hair that's with natural free. Just For Me. If y'all know
Well,
Just
you know, unfortunately, I didn't have the hair, so
yeah.
I mean,
Smokey, you white, but you really
yeah,
you just got white.
yeah,
Yeah.
just got straight hair.
There you go. What's
Can't
crazy
help
is I do too.
Yeah, exactly.
Hair's probably straighter than yours. Dude. That's crazy, man. Man, great podcast today, guys. Thank y'all for hanging out. Answer those questions for us down in the comment section. Smokey, you got anything else for the trash talk?
Nah, I guess that's it for this week.
That's it for this week, guys. Stick around for a great week of reactions coming up. And with that being said, my name is Grunge Hollywood Hairspray. Bye.
I am Larry Smokey Aquanet. Ramirez. I almost said 6.
And we are
Over
and
out. Deuces. Yeah, boy.